I still remember the exact moment my world collapsed. It was a Tuesday evening. I had just finished a 12-hour shift, my hands still smelling like engine oil, when I saw her suitcase by the door. At first, I thought she was packing for our honeymoon early. She loved planning ahead. Then she walked out of the bedroom wearing the dress I bought her on our anniversary, the one she said she'd wear on our wedding rehearsal. But her eyes were cold. "Daniel," she said, not even looking at me properly, "we need to talk." Those 4 words are never harmless. She didn't cry. She didn't hesitate. She didn't even sit down. "I can't marry you," she said. "I've been offered a different life." A different life. That's how she described another man. Older, wealthy, her boss. She told me she was tired of waiting for success and needed security. According to her, love didn't pay bills. Money did. 5 years together, reduced to a financial calculation. I asked her if she ever loved me. She paused, just long enough to hurt. "I did," she said, "but I need more." Then she picked up the ring I had spent a year saving for and placed it on the table like it meant nothing, and she left.
The next few months were the darkest of my life. I stopped answering calls. I avoided friends. I worked double shifts just to stay busy enough not to think. Every memory became a weapon. Our first apartment, the cheap pizza dates, the future we planned on a whiteboard that still hung in my kitchen. I hated myself for not being enough. But one night, while sitting alone in that same kitchen, something inside me snapped. Not anger, not sadness, clarity. I realized I had been living my life trying to prove my worth to someone who had already decided my value. So I stopped. I stopped chasing approval. I stopped comparing myself. I stopped begging for love. And I started building. I took every overtime shift available. I enrolled in night courses for business management. I learned about investments, side hustles, and online markets. Sleep became optional. Excuses became illegal. Within a year, I wasn't just fixing engines. I owned a small mobile repair service. Within 18 months, I had 3 employees. By the second year, I had contracts with 2 logistics companies.
For the first time in my life, I wasn't surviving. I was winning. Not for her, not for revenge, for me. Then, one afternoon, an email arrived. Subject line, wedding invitation. Her name, his name. A luxury venue. And at the bottom, a message. "It would mean a lot if you came. I hope we can be mature about the past." Mature. She wanted maturity after treating me like a stepping stone. I almost deleted it, but then I noticed something else. The RSVP had been sent directly to me, not through a mass list. She wanted me there. She wanted me to see what she had chosen. And suddenly, I wanted to go. Not to make a scene, not to beg, not to prove anything, but to close a chapter properly.
The day of the wedding, I wore a tailored navy suit, the first expensive thing I had ever bought for myself. I drove there in my own company vehicle, logo polished, paperwork sitting in the back seat, reminders of how far I'd come. I wasn't the broken man she left. I was someone she had never met. When I walked into the venue, the chandeliers glittered, the guests wore designer clothes, and waiters carried trays of champagne. And then she saw me. Her smile froze. For a moment, she didn't recognize me. Then her eyes widened. I wasn't alone. Beside me was my business partner, confident, elegant, successful, a woman who had helped me build everything from the ground up. Not a replacement, not a rebound, a partner in every sense of the word. We weren't there to show off. We were there because we belonged in rooms like that now.
She walked toward me, her groom distracted by guests. "You came," she said, her voice shaky. "You invited me," I replied calmly. Her eyes scanned my suit, my watch, the company logo on my car keys. You look different. I am different. There was a long silence, the kind filled with unspoken regrets. I didn't think you'd do all this, she said quietly. I smiled, not with pride, not with bitterness, but with peace. Neither did you. She looked like she wanted to say more, maybe an apology, maybe an excuse, but the wedding planner called her name. Her future was waiting at the altar. And for the first time, I felt nothing. No anger. No sadness. No love. Just closure.
As I turned to leave, she said one last thing. Did you ever forgive me? I paused. Yes, I said, because losing you forced me to find myself. Then I walked away, not as the man she abandoned, but as the man her betrayal created. After I walked out of her wedding, I thought the story was over. I thought that was my closure. But the real twist began 2 weeks later. I received a call from an unknown number. Normally, I would have ignored it. But something told me to answer. Daniel? It's me. I recognized her voice instantly. She was crying. She told me her perfect, wealthy husband wasn't so perfect after all. He was a control freak. Financially powerful, but emotionally empty. She had been forced to quit her job. She signed a prenup she barely understood. Her luxury life had become a golden cage. And then she said the words I once dreamed of hearing. I was wrong. I was happier with you. She admitted she had chased security and lost her freedom. Then she asked if we could meet. The old version of me would have said yes immediately. But I wasn't that man anymore.
We met at a quiet public cafe. This time, she wasn't wearing designer clothes. No confident smile. Just simple clothes and tired eyes. The moment she saw me, she broke down. I destroyed everything, she said. I stayed silent because I felt sympathy, but not love. Can we start again? She asked. 2 years ago, that sentence would have saved me. Now, it meant nothing. No, I said calmly. The shock in her eyes was immediate. You didn't lose me, I told her. You made a choice. I didn't blame her. I didn't insult her. I just told the truth. I've forgiven you, but I'm not coming back.
The real revenge wasn't her regret. The real revenge was who I had become. I had reached a point where I didn't need to prove my worth to anyone. My business had expanded. We opened a second branch in another city. I started a mentorship program for young mechanics who reminded me of my past. And the woman who stood beside me at that wedding, she wasn't just my business partner anymore. She had become my life partner. Our engagement was simple. No luxury venue, no fake guests, only the people who stood by us when we had nothing.
One day, I received an email from her. She was divorced. Subject line, "You were the right choice. I was just too blind to see it." I closed the email without replying, because some chapters should never be reopened. That night, I stood in my workshop watching my team work. The smell of oil, the sound of tools, the laughter of people who respected me. That was my real success. That was my real family. She left me because I wasn't enough. But the truth was, I wasn't incomplete. I was just unfinished. And when I finally became whole, I no longer needed her.